cafe anyway.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Hello, it's Mike. We've made it to the end of the week, or maybe it's the beginning of the week when you're listening to this, or the middle, I don't know. But welcome.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
To episode 2674. I'd like to talk to you about something. I'd like to implore you to check out my website, MikesDailyPodcast.com. I've got lots of cool pictures there. I won't steer you wrong with these pictures. They're awesome. They're in good taste.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
They're of, the last podcast picture was of the wilderness, predominantly
Mike's
at the Sinol
Daily
Regional Wilderness
Podcast.
I thought it was a nice picture.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you're like, What? The previous picture, though, was that of, Shasta. Another sort of wilderness picture. Mount Shasta. And the one before that was of the beautiful, not so much wilderness, but more like city. We're talking in the city, which, yes, there was a song by the Eagles. In the city. Whoa. And of course you had Stevie Wonder. Run, child, run, it's in the city. Living for the city. Cities really fascinate us, don't they? Well, not so much that Podcastro Valley is a city. It basically is, but not really. But it is kind of close to one, being sort of, kind of, and other crutch words that I hear everybody in the podcast world use. Yeah, it was sort of dumb. Like, they'll make a very bold statement, but then they couch it with that sort of, kind of. What are you saying, a bold statement? Or did you just pull all the air out of that balloon? What are you doing? But the last podcast picture that was not of the wilderness was of a miniature golf course that's very famous in Podcastro Valley. But that is where we are. Not at the miniature golf course, but a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley.
And here's today's podcast picture.
The last place on earth. And the podcast picture that's a good question. But I wanted to tell you, if you're listening to this on the 16th, it's National Guacamole Day. Guacamole. You know, you start with something really healthy for you with the good fats, the avocado, and then you add sour cream, or a lot of people do to guacamole. Some just add a little lime and just kind of mush it up, kind of hedging away with my couch words. The late great Basil the Boxer did not like couch words. He liked couches, though. Oh, he loved to sit on a couch and relax. He did, and sometimes play with you. Actually, he never jumped on the couches. Upstairs. Downstairs, there was a couch that he liked. The red couch. Near where I do the podcast. In Podcastro Valley. Cafe anyway, the last place on earth. So enjoy some Guacamole Day. It's also National Cleanup Day.
You will travel into the incredible universe.
Some people find the spring cleaning thing, no, that's a little too early in the year. I'm going to wait a little later in the year and clean up after all the summertime craziness. Finally put that beach ball away.
I got through that. I got into it.
After the boys of summer have gone. Don Henley, also with the Eagles. National Working Parents Day. My mom, who raised me, hardworking woman.
Magnification.
And I remember her working hard, picking me up, dropping me off as a kid. Such a busy, hardworking lady. Let's hear it for the hardworking people of the world that are parents. And Responsible Dog Ownership Day.
Woo!
Lately, my next door neighbor, he's done a lot of stuff. Really a lot of stuff. Good things. And so I would like to repay him by walking his dog. So we've been doing that lately and trying to help him out, because it's tough being a responsible dog owner. You need to not only feed them, not only take them to all their vet bills, their vet visits, which is going to cost you about $2,100 a year I heard that statistic recently. But you got to walk them every day. Make sure they're healthy. Make sure they're getting their exercise. And in my case, my dog lost the use of his back 2 legs, the late great Basil the boxer. So I had to pick him up with a harness with the back 2 legs, and he walked with the front 2. And we got used to it, but it was a lot of hard work. I was in much better shape, although I did get a golfer's arm. Totally pulled all the muscles in my arm for all the... He was a heavy dog, 85 pounds at least, lifting him up. Proper, responsible dog owner. So let's hear it for you today. And in that pet vein, there's also the Puppy Mill Awareness Day. Oh, I hate puppy mills so much. They need to all just go away. And we need to rescue all the poor puppies.
People get stuck on stupid. You know what I mean?
Stop the mills. And then also we need to rescue all the animals, the dogs and cats that are on the streets, that are in danger, that need a good home. And Basil the Boxer was a rescue. Rocky the cat, the current pet that we have, he's a rescue. So, and that is pretty much the Cinnamon Raisin Bread Day. I forgot to mention that. There's a lot of things going on the 16th. National Raisin Bread Day. You know what? My lovely lady friend can't stand raisins. She's freaked out by them. These little things, all shriveled up and weird. But it's just a grape that got a little bit too much sun. So let's not overjudge.
Mike is on it, man.
Go where no man has gone before.
We love it, Mike.
It's harsh with people that that are wrinkled. There's a little too much. So you know what else? Too much judgment there. If you're listening to this on the 17th, hopefully, as we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley.
Anyway.
The last place on earth. Continuing in that theme of cleaning, it's National Professional House Cleaners Day. It's interesting that comes up because I am seriously considering hiring a house cleaner because it's a lot of work.
The Royal Trump Tweet Decree.
Does my lovely lady friend have all the time to do it? And now I'm finding myself becoming more and more susceptible to dust and all of that. My lungs are not as, and I've never vaped, never smoked. And it's still, maybe it's from all the years growing up around parents that smoked. Working parents. But yeah, at some point, you got to be good to your lungs. And so maybe not all the dust going around.
MTV News. You hear it first.
I was handed a root beer, so I decided to have a little sip. Excellent.
Kathy's Corner.
Da-da-da-da-da. Kathy's Corner.
Where did I go? Now I'm back. So, National Monte Cristo Day. Not the healthiest sandwich to eat. It's Wife Appreciation Day as well. Let's hear it for the wives. Hardworking wives that put up with their husbands who are eating Monte Cristos. And National Apple Dumpling Day, which I am seriously considering making one of those because I have so much apples, a surplus of apples. Year after year, more apple trees grow in my backyard. They're all voluntary. They're taking over. It's like Johnny Appleseed has come back and it just spilled all his seeds. He spread his seeds all over my backyard. Ew. So that's something. When life gives you apple seeds, you have apple trees and you have apples, you make apple dumplings. So I'm going to try and do that on National Apple Dumpling Day.
When you are a man, sometimes you wear stretchy pants.
17th. Outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. Look who is here. It's not the podcast picture that's right here. Look who it is. Hello, my commercials, Madame Rootabega, and I love Monte Cristos. Ooh, That's good. Monte Cristos, yeah. Aren't they deep fried? Probably not the best thing for you, deep fried stuff.
Magnification.
What was that? Did you hear that? What was that? Do you like Monte Cristos? Yes. Do you like people that talk about Monte Cristos? Yes. Did you watch The Count of Monte Cristo? No. Oh, it's a sad movie. He's locked up in that tower and then he takes his revenge. I shall have my revenge, is what he says. And so he does, dothly. And he kills a bunch of people. It's the same author that brought us the Musketeers. Dumas, I believe his name. Dumas.
Addenda with Kevin.
It's pronounced Dumas. Because the guy was saying dumb bleep.
Welsh on the world.
You're welcome for remembering that. Going back in time and remembering that wonderful commercial that I have no idea who the company was. So I don't know how exactly that was good in commercial world, except that I remembered it. And it made me laugh years later. And here we are in September, midway at this point. And did you know that because Swift, Beyonce, and Barbie are winding down, that's going to hurt the U.S. economy? The girl power economy is set for a slowdown. A combination of the Barbie movie plus Taylor Swift and Beyonce tours helped drive growth in the U.S. economy this summer. Swift's tour alone likely raised at least $2 billion in ticket sales alone. The concerts and blockbuster movie, Barbie, they added about $8.5 billion to U.S. growth. That is good for more than a third of the growth in consumption. Morgan Stanley said the unwinding of these events combined with the expiration of the student loan moratorium, that equals a 1.4% downside to real consumption. So even Morgan Stanley is worried. Swift's tour is over in North America and sales for Barbie are fading. As for Beyonce, her tour ends October 1st. The absence of these one-off significant lifts will create a hangover effect on consumption. The student loan moratorium is set to end on October 1st, and that is going to affect a lot of borrowers. It's going to impact 26.6 million borrowers, perhaps even you.
This is Mike's Podcast Picnic.
We're talking all about the latest storm that's hitting the East Coast, but remember recently there was Hurricane Idalia. It actually was better than feared. It weakened to a tropical storm. More than 300,000 customers were without power in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Preliminary estimates before Idalia made landfall implied average insured losses of about $9.4 billion.
This show is clean.
The insurance broker BMS Group said it estimated that industry insured losses would be between $3 billion and $6 billion.
Pretty much.
But this is not the devastating effect that was feared 24 hours before it made landfall. Idalia made landfall at a much more sparsely populated region than Hurricane Ian did. That was a year ago. Remember that? That was a mess. That affected where my mom used to live in Daytona Beach pretty badly. That was the $112 billion in damage that was caused by that storm. Air travel disruption appeared to be easing after the hurricane, and after there was about 5,000 flights that were delayed.
Fabagoo, things to do.
And 1,100 canceled during the hurricane. So that all came from Rob Black. He produces, he does a show every day on the radio, well, Monday through Friday, and he's also on TV on Kron. He's on the radio on KDOW, AM 1220. And he has done that for a number of years. And I produce this podcast. And so I got that information from him. It's very helpful with all kinds of business stuff and what's going on with business trends in the world today. Taylor Swift is going to bring her Eras Tour movie to movie theaters October 13th. New York City's largest IMAX theater is already completely sold out. It actually sold out back in August. And apparently, Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. 61% are, over half. So inflation is still squeezing budgets. And new unemployment claims in Maui skyrocketed just after the fire by over 3,322% after the wildfire. More than 4,400 Maui residents filed for unemployment, up from 130 before the wildfires. Although they said that the overall death toll was a little bit lower than originally had been estimated, because some people's, some of the deceased, their DNA had been counted twice. And Apple reportedly has tested 3D printing to manufacture Apple Watches. I never, ever want to get an Apple Watch. There is no way on earth that I want to be reminded that I'm missing a phone call.
Bands mutations.
Too much there. And people that I've known that have the Apple Watch, they are the most ADD, crazy, no attention span at all. There's not a second of downtime for them. It's like go. I'm on TikTok. I'm on my iWatch. I'm on my dude. They never slow down. They never stop. They never stop to think or breathe. It's too much. So step away from the watch. But 3D printing methodology would reduce both time and the amount of material being used with those. So, look who else is here outside a cafe anyway. I forgot to mention you guys.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we can't wait to turn the parking lot into a scary, haunted parking lot attraction that people can go to here at Cafe anyway. There.
Yeah, we're going to scare people. Do you know that? Wow, that's cool. People are going to like that. When Bison, instead of screaming at him like, he's just going to say, do you know that, really loud, and that'll freak people out. It's going to be awesome. So, make sure to stop by, and we'll clean up beforehand so you won't have any dust in your lungs, and it'll be wonderful. So I'll let you get back to your couch or whatever else you're doing. Whatever else you're doing. And I'm going to go and enjoy my weekend. I hope you do too. And we'll try and tune in, or you hopefully will come over and tune in to this podcast, because we'll hopefully bring you another one very soon. And if you'd like to chime in about anything we covered today, you can call me at 510-228-4640. And with more ways to reach me, it's A-Friend.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.